Hello and welcome. I'm Arkayla. I'm a channel, an alchemist, and a shamanic healer. And if you're new to the channel, then it's lovely to have you here. Every single week, I offer a free psychic card reading. And this week, I am going to be reading from the Oracle of Delphi pack by Susie Cherub. Just so you know, I also have a puppy sitting right next to me, so she might bounce in at any given moment. We'll just see what happens. I'm joining you from Tunbridge Wells in England, where I have been traveling for the last couple of months, and I'm about to go to Costa Rica. So I'm excited to land there soon. And once I get there, I will have hopefully new card packs to read from. So if you've been following me for a while, you might have noticed that I'm using 2 packs at the moment and bouncing between them, but I'm hoping to expand my collection once I get to Costa Rica. We'll see what happens. So if you want to choose a number between 1 and 3 and just choose something that feels good for you, and in some cases you might feel the call to listen to 2 cards or even all 3 of them, it's really important that you do what feels right to you on a heart level. Once you're clear on the number or numbers that you want to listen to, feel free to go to the comments below, look at the timestamps available, and just click on the corresponding timestamp for the card that you want to listen to, and it will take you straight there. I'll see you there. If you chose card number 1, this is your card. And so what's coming through with this card is this very strong message that you have broken new ground. So you are just the other side of a big dimensional shift, and this is a really exciting time for you. The guidance that's coming through, however, is that you may still be oscillating or experiencing mental narratives that come from both a supportive place as well as a doubtful place. And as you've moved into this new paradigm, this new dimension of you, this new understanding of who you are and who you can become, what you've actually done is spent quite a bit of time observing these stories of doubt and finding great capacity in yourself to hold space for that doubt, but not get sucked into it. And as you have developed this capacity, you have expanded yourself into this new paradigm, this new dimensional vibrational space. And what is very clear here, and the guidance that is coming through, is that even though you really have moved into this new level of understanding, this new place of being, there will still be these 2 sides to your thinking patterns, this supportive place, this empowering place, and this part of you that is still operating in this kind of old system that will bring to the surface remaining vibrational aspects of your being that are still attached to these old beliefs. And what's really coming through here is no sweat. I feel like you're already in that place. You wouldn't be in this new dimensional space if you hadn't got to that place of understanding that you don't need to worry about this. They're just saying it's still there. You're still going to observe it. You're just going to become more and more able to really let go and remain an observer, but not come entangled in it. And what they also want you to understand is that those beliefs come with feelings, and the more you can sit in your place of light, in your heart space, and observe those old beliefs, allow yourself to feel the feelings attached to them but not get sucked into them, the more these old beliefs will become less and less part of your makeup at all. The attachment to them will just dissipate and completely disappear. So this is the guidance that's coming through. It's really important for you now to powerfully nurture your heart space. This is the dimension you're now in. It is a heart-led space. You've moved into that 5th dimensional energy, which is all about the heart. But this doesn't mean that it will just happen automatically. You're still the creator of your experience. And so it's really you continuing to cultivate this powerful heart-led perspective. And what that really means is literally when you're in those moments of doubt or questioning, taking your awareness to your heart, to your physical heart space. And actually, to be very clear, I don't mean the organ itself. I mean your energetic heart center, which is in the middle of your chest here. If you take your awareness to that place, just for a period of time, 5-10 minutes in the morning, every single morning, if you don't already have a practice, and you physically focus yourself there, you will feel the impact that has, because the heart space responds immediately to your attention. And the more practiced you become at operating from that place, the easier you will find it to stay in that place of understanding how much more expanded and powerful you can be. I can't emphasize enough how important and powerful this invitation is for you. This is really the practice now for you, is to cultivate this heart relationship so powerfully that it just becomes your norm, and it will become your norm. And where you'll feel this most will be with those shadows of old stories, that the ones that could still be triggering you quite potently. And still taking your attention to your heart, feeling your heart expand you so that you can see those stories and feel those feelings, but not get caught up in them. As I said earlier, it's really important for you to feel your way through those old limiting beliefs. It is the only way. We cannot think our way through this. Everything is vibrational. Everything is feeling based. That is how the quantum moves through space and time. It is through vibration and through feeling. And when we start to completely surrender to our feelings, the ones that trigger us most, and allow them to move through us and not get caught up in them, not spiral into them, but are able to observe them, experience them, that is when they are sort of exorcised from our system. Because when we take our attention to the parts of us that still hold old beliefs, that feel uncomfortable, and are able to just bear witness to them, we bring so much light to them that the story, the belief behind that trigger cannot sustain itself. And so it literally dissipates. And as it does so, it transforms into light. For we are light in motion. And these little parts of us, these kinks, where there's dissonance in our vibration, where it feels uncomfortable, when we turn our awareness to it, we bring such a force of love and light that it really shakes out that dissonance, that misalignment in our vibration, and brings entrainment, which means harmonizes it. It brings it into a place of harmony. And that enables us to release ourselves from these misunderstandings of who we are and who we've been and what is possible for us. And that, my beautiful, masterful friend, is where you are at right now. This is your invitation. This is what you are capable of. And I honor you for the work that you have done to bring yourself to this place, because it is a place of great expansion, and it has been a challenging initiatory experience, I have no doubt. Have a wonderful week. Stay in the heart. My motto for this week would be, I allow my heart to lead the way. I hope that this serves you, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care. If you chose card number 2, this is your card. Now there's quite a bit going on in this card. And what's coming through very clearly is the invitation to recognize that you wield more power than you have given yourself credit for. And that actually what's happening at the moment, because I feel like things might be a little tricky for you right now. And that's because there's a few things happening here. You are on a initiatory journey at the moment of self-discovery. And what's really happening is you are traveling from doubt into heart-led trust around yourself, actually. But as you move through this experience, you are projecting this journey, this very deep, powerful, internal, what some people call the hero's journey. You're projecting this journey onto your environment, onto your current life experience, which is what we all do. This is not specific to you. You're not getting anything wrong by any means. This is simply where you're at right now. And we are all of us manifesting from the inside out at all the time. The reason that I feel to emphasize this for you at the moment is to give you a level of conceptual understanding as to why things may be playing out the way that they are. What is really apparent to me as I look at this card is that your heart has taken a back seat for quite some time. And I feel that what you've really been navigating is a lot of quite challenging self-beliefs. I get a lot of anger here, actually. And this anger is not yours. This has been passed down from your parents. I feel like these are things that happened in your childhood experience which left beliefs about who you are and what you are capable of very alive inside you in a very negative and challenging way. And what's really coming through here is that you are at the moment really seeing these stories, these very self-diminishing stories and narratives, thought narratives, very clearly for what could be the first time. And you're starting to understand that they aren't true and that you don't have to make them your truth any longer, and that in fact you can let these beliefs, these narratives go, and you can allow your heart to actually guide you more and more. There's a really deep invitation here for you to really step into your feminine energy. And this is relevant whatever physicality you might embody. For we are all a mix of the masculine and feminine. But your feminine energy, which is your soft side, your intuitive side, your gentle, creative, expansive, social side, this part of you has been locked up, I would say, for quite some time, or at least put in the back seat. And equally, your masculine has been quite out of whack, because there's a lot of anger here, and suppressed anger, I would say, that probably comes out in aggressive thoughts, beliefs, actions, microaggressions, probably maybe sarcastic interactions, negative thought patterns. You know, suppressed anger can manifest in many different ways. And it feels to me like two things are happening. You're observing these parts of yourself for the first time in a very real way, but in a way that's more accepting and detached, rather than before where it was just how you felt about yourself. Now you're starting to create some space between you and these thoughts and see them for what they are, which is really traces of past experiences rather than things that you need to continually perpetuate and live up to. And I feel like you're getting some sort of handle on this within yourself. And this is this power I spoke of at the beginning. It's understanding that you have far more power than you think you do. And you stepping into this understanding is actually creating within you a more harmonized understanding of who you are. And if this all sounds like somewhere you want to be but you're not quite at yet, then what's coming through is this is where you're headed right now. This is the journey that you're on. This is what your heart has called in. And so trust the process. And you might be feeling pretty lost, and that's okay. That's actually a very big part of this journey. And I say that because I've been there. And what you'll start to understand and recognize is that feeling lost is actually what must happen in order for you to find yourself in a new way. I used to call it my souping period. And this was because I learned that butterflies, when they go into caterpillars, when they go into the chrysalis to become a butterfly, they completely disintegrate into a soup. So much so that there is not any relation between the caterpillar structure and the butterfly structure. They have to completely disintegrate in order to systematically rebuild themselves. And so when I went through these periods of feeling fantastically lost and very bereft and, out of control in many ways, in myself, in my life, I became able to hold space for it by saying to myself, I'm going through a souping period. That's why I'm quite emotional, feeling quite lost. And in the process of calling it that and holding myself in that space with that context, firstly, I knew that time would pass. And secondly, I was acknowledging that there was something really powerful happening within me. And though I couldn't necessarily feel it or articulate it at the time, I decided to trust it. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. The woman I've become is completely different to the woman that I was. And it's because, in part, of these experiences. And though you may not be feeling as soupy as that, there is an element of this occurring because there's a great tenderness and vulnerability here. But this is also a very important part of this journey, because it is only through experiencing our vulnerability and tenderness that we start to really reconnect with our heart center, because our heart energy is vulnerability, tenderness, and sweetness, great sweetness. And so what's coming through for you this week is to trust the process, to observe the differences that are occurring within you, to acknowledge them, to celebrate them, to also celebrate the feelings of disquiet, the feelings of discomfort, because those feelings are also part of this process. They're also part of you. And actually, one of the biggest opportunities you can lean into right now is the realization that the journey you're on is about accepting yourself. It's about accepting every single part of yourself. We are very much conditioned to have parts of ourselves we approve of and parts of ourselves we disapprove of. And actually, when we start this journey of consciousness, of deeper understanding, we have to fully embrace every part of who we are, because that's the only way we can become whole. If we continue this journey of, I disapprove of these behaviors of mine, we are going to continually create resistance within ourselves. And that creates division and pain. And that is not the journey to wholeness. That just maintains this consistent bouncing back and forth of what I like and what I don't like. Whereas when we can observe the behaviors, the beliefs, the thought patterns that we feel a tension around or a difficulty around, but we can meet them with a sense of, okay, I see you, I feel conflicted about this, but I'm just going to accept this and trust that it's all going to come into a place of understanding, or maybe just straight out forgive myself for whatever it was I feel I've done or thought badly. Then we start to step into this place of deeper acceptance, unconditionality, and self-love is the outcome of that. When we show ourselves unconditionality, we show ourselves unconditional love. And that is the journey. So you're in this really tender place at the moment, and it's a very powerful place. And the more you can accept it and trust it, the easier that will be for you. It will pass. I don't want to say it's not going to last long, because it will last the perfect time. And the more we can let go of this need to control all the outcomes, the easier life is. Though I know it can be upsetting to hear that, because obviously we don't like uncomfortable experiences, but it's creating capacity for discomfort, which is where our mastery will come from. So I hope that this is helpful, and I send you so much love. And if you need support at this time, which you may do if you're feeling very tender, very vulnerable, and you're very much kind of oscillating between I'm okay and I'm not okay, then do reach out and get support. Could just be from a friend or family member that can just listen, someone you trust, someone you feel safe with emotionally that can hold that space for you whilst you're honest and vulnerable with them. Better yet, speak to a therapist. Of course, I'm always here for you. I'm here to help transform and support those parts of you that are needing to be met inside you, can give you tools to do that, actually can help you with the alchemical process that this is. Feel free to reach out to me if you want that support. You'll find my details in the comments below. Or if you're working with someone, if you're working with a therapist, then that's great news. Trust the process. And allow yourself to really step into the belief and the knowing that everything really is working for you, because it really, really is. Sending you a lot of love from me and this beautiful poppy. And speak to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye. If you chose card number 3, this is your card. This is a very powerful card. Whenever this card comes up, I'm always very aware that there's a lot happening. Specifically, that there's a lot of unpicking, because you see how she's kind of teasing this spider web of thread. Well, what's coming through here is I feel that there is a particular focus on the feminine. In fact, I feel that this is really about generational healing of the feminine energy, the bloodlines in your family that run down through the women, essentially. And that the experiences of your female ancestors, or they're saying both in this life and in past lives, is really powerfully coming through for you at the moment. And it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, it doesn't matter how you physically identify. This is basically just the energy of your mother, your grandmother, your great grandmother on both sides that's coming through. And what's coming through here is that in the process of you getting clear on these energies, on these bloodlines, you're going to be able to heal a lot of inner child beliefs and behavioral patterns that came up for you, or that still come up for you rather, because it's very clear to me that this actually had a massive impact on your childhood. And I mean, of course it does. The female bloodline always will, but it's coming up for you very strongly at the moment. And I'm getting the sense that that's because, well, it's really because you're ready to step into a much deeper connection with your feminine energy and actually let go of some of these limiting beliefs, because there is a very strong energy, particularly around manipulation, actually, that's coming up. Manipulation, and that might be that the women in your family have felt manipulated by circumstances or people in their lives, or that they developed manipulation as a coping mechanism, a way to protect themselves. And this is something that your heart no longer wants. And so in some way, this energy is coming up, and also this energy of suppression. So if manipulation doesn't resonate, then suppression might feel more accurate. But what this is creating is this sense of, I feel like the ground doesn't feel very firm underneath your feet at the moment. And that's because there's a lot of change occurring inside you, and a lot of waking up to the understanding that this female ancestral energy is actually not yours. Really, this energy needs to be transformed big time, because it's only through transforming this energy that you are going to actually be able to really embrace your own femininity in a healthy and powerful way. And your relationship with your feminine is really the barometer for your relationship with your heart. And so the more we can unravel the stories that prevent us from connecting powerfully with our most feminine aspect, our heart-led selves, the more we are able to step into deeper relationship with ourselves, with our lives, and with life force, really, with the force that moves through everything. And it is powerfully feminine because it's so creative, and creative energy is the essence, if you like, of the feminine, because it is abundant, it is continuous, it is alive, it is passionate, and these are all the aspects that we want to cultivate within ourselves, no matter what our sex, our physical sex rather. So this is really the invitation for you at the moment, to really trust the process of what you're going through, to understand that a lot of what's coming up for you right now isn't necessarily yours. It's something that's been passed down, that's being exorcised through you to some degree. And when I say it's not yours, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't take responsibility for it. In fact, that's exactly what you should be doing, because the only reason it's coming through you is because on a soul level, you put your hand up to transform this energy. You came into this life, you chose this bloodline as part of this experience because you knew on a soul level you had the resources, you had the past life experiences as well within you to transform this into something better. Equally, your soul also wanted to transform this energy for its own benefit. So though what you're feeling may have been passed down from generation to generation to generation, and so in that way it's not all yours, there is something vibrationally in it that is highly reflective of something that's been present in you, not just in this life, but on many, many lives that came before this one. And so when you chose this bloodline, you knew this was going to be triggered within you, and you knew it would benefit you and those that came before you in this experience. And so you opted to do this work because you knew it would be beneficial for you, the collective, and the planet. Beautiful work. So yes, it might be really uncomfortable, but however, it will lead to great self-satisfaction and deep self-empowerment. And I think there's a strong message coming through that if you're somebody who wants to start their own business, it's very specific, and a big part of your ancestral lineage has been afraid of being seen in the world, being powerful, being successful, you came in with the clear desire to transform that. And this is why this is going to be such a gift for you, because this is something your soul is calling in because you're ready for it. So if you need help with this, then by all means reach out. I am happy to support you with healing generational energies. And if that doesn't feel right, then reach out to an energy healer near you or a therapist, and just give yourself the support that you might need to do this work. If you want to, you can reach out to me through the comments below. What I really would like you to understand is that nothing ever comes up that is not for us, and nothing ever comes up that we don't have the capability and resources for. I hope that this is helpful. I hope that it resonates. The guidance and motto for this week is I trust the process. And in doing that, you will discover a new and powerful capacity to trust yourself. And that really is the key to a very, very different life and great, great self-empowerment. So I hope that resonates. I hope that's of service. Have a wonderful week. Take care of yourself. I know you're tender right now. And do get that support from whoever feels right to you. Take care, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.